Let's look at briefs in a little more detail. As mentioned previously, briefs are comprehensively generated documents for doing tasks like interviews, making investments, or creating new businesses or apps. I went ahead and created 3 specific briefs that we'll review in a moment, but first I want to have a look at the creation experience. When creating a new brief, you can select from 3 different types: interview, investment, and business. And for interview, here's an example of the form. You enter the company name, job title, and add a job description. You can upload a job description file if you prefer, and you can add any additional details like expectations around salaries, benefits, team structure, etc. For the investment brief, you simply enter the company name and hit create, or you can refine the investment preferences with things like your strategy, risk tolerance, and investment amount. And for businesses, you enter the idea name and simply describe your idea in as much detail as possible. Likewise, it's possible to refine your business idea by providing details around business type, region, estimated seed funds, workforce plan, and you can even select from cohorts that you might want to evaluate this idea with. So back to those briefs I created. Let's have a look at those. First, the skating rink idea. I thought it might be cool to create a skating rink in my city, so I went ahead and created a business brief for the idea. I described the idea in detail, and this is the brief that was generated. Along the top, you can see skating rink and that it's in the other category. I can set different statuses that allow me to reflect on that status, which gets stored as a reflection in the brief. I can share this when I'm ready if I have a partner or collaborator, and I can select the areas I want to share. That'll generate a public URL that I can copy and paste and send to other people. And then there's a couple actions up here like download as PDF. I can view the details that I used to create this brief. And I can even organize the sections if I don't like the organization. Along the left is the table of contents, and you can see all the content that was generated for this brief. You can even see suggested sections that you might want to add. As we scroll down the page, I'll point out a few sections. Right at the top is the idea overview. Along the way, you can choose to add new sections or continue reviewing and researching the idea. Here for the skating rink, I get an assessment of the total market opportunity. It tells me the total TAM, SAM, and SOM. It describes some target customer segments and various other dynamics about the market. I see research on the competitive landscape, product strategy, and a prioritized set of MVP features. I even see business model and pricing to give you an idea of how you might price your product, the unit economics, and then even financial projections to let me know if this idea has any legs and will be successful. You can review more information below, including things like branding and naming ideas, or generate your own sections. You might even choose to refine a section if you don't like the content or delete it entirely. Along the way, you can be taking notes while you're researching, and your notes save in real time. Now an interview brief. Here's one I created for a role at Apple for a product designer. Here's the statuses. If I'm entering an interview, I can go ahead and add some notes about that. I can enter interview mode, which I'll tell you about in just a moment. And here's the actions for interview briefs. Pretty similar to the last one. You can see my reflection was added here, and I can delete them and edit them at any time. As I scroll down the page, you'll see company overview if I need to do research, a description of the role that I entered into the brief, things like salary range and information about that range within the broader industry, a tool for doing resume analysis. If you're interested in this, watch the resume analysis overview video. Here's a pretty cool feature called interview questions. These are generated questions that the company might ask you that are fine-tuned and tailored to the role you're applying for. There's an opportunity here to do some coaching, so if you don't know how to answer this question, you can generate an example smart answer. I like that one, so I'll just leave it. And I'm going to go ahead and star some of these questions. You can see company rating, pros, cons, and overall rating for this company and opportunity. And finally, employee sentiment. And while we're here, I'll go ahead and create a new section. I like this learning path section. It'll take a moment to generate. Here we go. The learning path was added. This is a personalized learning path for Apple Product Designer. It gives me some guidance on what I should do leading up to the interview. This looks good, so I'm going into an interview in 2 days. I'm going to enter interview mode. And here I can see those questions that I starred with the responses that I noted. And while I'm interviewing, I could be taking notes or referencing notes that I previously made, and also navigating all the content of the brief. Now on to an investment brief. Here's one I created for Google. Similarly, it has statuses. Right now we only have discovery, but you might imagine investing, invested, completed, or exited. We'll be adding those in a future update. There's a compare mode, which is in progress as the time of this video. You'll be able to compare multiple investments and decide your best one. And the details remain the same from other briefs. Along the left-hand side, you can see the information that was generated, and I'll give you a brief overview of that. Here we have an overview of the company, business model, market position, growth and scale projections. And then we have some competitors to give you a sense of the market they're in. Here's financial performance information. We generate content from the most recent information that's available. If there isn't any information available, we'll default to the most recent year with complete data. Scrolling down the page, you see an investment analysis, which is an overview of the thesis for investing in this company, an overall rating, and key people that you can research. And finally, here's key events and things that happened recently with this company. There's additional sections you can add. I'm going to go ahead and add one of my own. When should I invest in Google if I wanted to? Now this will take a moment. Here we go. Investment timing considerations for Google. This will give me some insights around when I should invest based on my own preferences. And that was an overview of PlotStat briefs.